You're watching Samuel Goodwin on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Today we're working on that yo-yo goal that I talked about before. So generally, if I'm trying to be serious in practice and not just throw around the yo-yo because it's fun to do, I'll start with some sort of warm-ups. So going sideways, we just kind of go over every mount that I know how to do that I can think of. So we got a trapeze, we got a double or nothing, we got a 1.5, we got the trapeze and his brother, we got the triple or nothing, we have our wrist mount, we also have the gunslinger mount, nice whip on there. I also do this little weird thing where you go here and change it to, which is basically trapeze and his brother, and then back to 1.5, and then back. I don't know if that's helpful, I just like to do it because it seems like it might be useful. I also try to remind myself of tricks that I've recently learned and see if I can still do those. So we got this thing. This thing. Also got this thing. Can barely do it. It's kind of long and it definitely gets a little crooked, but it's better than it was the day I learned it. I also like to go over the sort of jump things I know how to do. So we have like an Eli hop, which is just to jump it up and land it back on the string like that. And we have the CLYW, which took me so long to learn at first, but now it's totally doable. There's also Monkey Madness. And from a previous video, the Spirit Bomb. So the goal here is to try to get a combination of tricks that I like that can take up a minute. Ideally with just one throw, maybe with two, but certainly not if I just did each of those tricks individually as separate things. That would be a really lame freestyle and nobody would want to see that unless they were just really excited that I learned some tricks. But I want to make something a little more presentable, so we need to work out a combination of these things that's interesting. For example, the trick with trying to combine things is that if you mess up one step, now you have to do the whole thing over again, and that takes a little more patience. So even that, combining those two tricks, both of those tricks are fairly quick tricks. So that was probably what, like 10-15 seconds? I'd have to review the footage to see exactly. But we need more like 30 seconds to a minute. So it's gonna take a lot more. See, once it runs out of spin, it just starts wobbling and then you can't really do anything with that. Kind of messed up. That's kind of cool. I think I may have done myself a disservice spending so long focusing on specific planned tricks that other people had, because now as I try to do something like just going from mount to mount to mount that I know, I just sort of autopilot to finishing whatever trick that reminds me of. I have to catch myself to make sure that I don't just autopilot that and I'm actually doing the exercise. Sometimes, especially if a thing seems like work, if you give yourself a time limit and say, well, I just need to do this for this amount of time, it can be a little easier to focus and do it. So, hey Siri, set a timer for 20 minutes. All right, it's going. Too long. Didn't work. See, that's a sign that it's just barely spinning enough to get it to bind back up, which means not there yet. Oop. Nope. Terrible. I feel like that went for at least like 10 or 20 seconds, maybe. Also, pro tip, if you want it to spin longer, don't hit the yo-yo into yourself. If it makes contact with skin, it slows down a lot. Don't do that. So that's the end of the 20 minutes. Now I'm gonna sit, take a break, get something to drink. Maybe I'll take a look at this footage and see if anything lasted for even 30 seconds, which I kinda don't feel like it did. But we'll see in some weeks after this. Maybe I get better and you all get to see.